Hey folks, KILT-MAN here, KILT-MAN at your services. How are you all? Hope you're all doing very, very well. Now, we've got an update on missing Nikki Bulley. 45-year-old mother of two primary school daughters dropped the two girls off at primary school on Friday morning, Friday the 27th of January 2023. Then took their dog Willow for a walk along the banks of the River Wyre. Yes, I'm going to get the name of that river and the village right. I've been calling it Wyre. And the worst thing is, I've even been there as well. And I've always known it in my head as being Wyre. See the name, I look at it, I say Wyre. It's Wyre. And if I get it wrong throughout the rest of the video, I do apologise. I don't mean to, but it is Wyre. And St Michael's on Wyre. It's the village. And on that Friday morning, when she's walking her dog, something happened and she went missing. Her dog was found, the alarm was raised, police festooned the area, and in the ensuing now 11 days since she went missing, with no trace, her mobile phone, the dog lead, the dog harness. That's it. We've been through this a lot already. We don't need to rake over it all again. But in my previous video, I did say that there was a specialist team of divers and explorers and they're professionals in the field of finding people in the water. And they're called SGI, that's Specialist Group International. And they're headed up by a guy called Peter Faulding. He's been a diver since the age of 5, an explorer. He knows his stuff. And this group, they are civilians, they are a private company, but they're pretty much the go-to people when the police need someone to go in and search rivers, bodies of water, caves, anything. Their specialisation is confined spaces search and rescue, and obviously water as well. And they use state-of-the-art equipment. Now, they work with many police constabularies around the UK, and they work with the police on a daily basis. And they've had hundreds and hundreds of cases in their experience. They really are the go-to folks for this. Now, Peter Faulding, the CEO, was interviewed a few days ago, and he said, and it was quite a lengthy interview, and I did talk about this, and I'll recap it now. He said, day one, when we heard about this case, we offered our services free of charge to Lancashire Police. We'll go up there and we'll search that river, and we can do it in a day. The River Wyre is 28 miles long, 45 kilometres. It's quite some distance. And he said we can do it in a day, and we'll categorically rule out whether she's in the water or not in the water. But Lancashire Police have been meandering up and down that for 11 days with no result. So we said we can do this in a day, and they refused. Lancashire Police refused. Now, I think I said previously that they just hadn't responded, but he has been interviewed, because since I did the video yesterday, the big update yesterday, things moved on very rapidly from that point onwards. Because around about tea time yesterday, on Sunday the 5th of February 2023, Peter Faulding put on social media that we have now been asked to assist in this. The family have been in touch with us, and we're going up there. So they're there right now. They're there today. They are there on the river now, doing what they do best. But I said initially that Lancashire Police had, just not responded. That's not true, because he said we approached them right from the word go, and we offered our services free of charge, and they refused. Now, again, I'm not, pointing the finger. Whoa, wrong. Lancashire Police, ooh, idiots. I'm not saying that. They probably had their reasons for not accepting it. Well, we don't need you. We're going to wrap this up in a couple of days. It may have been as simple as that, which has obviously not been the case. But I will quote Peter Faulding again. He said that the Lancashire Police operation so far has been, quite frankly, a mess. That's not me saying that. I don't know that. I've been saying all along that I suspected they knew something that they weren't saying, which would be only sort of protocol and procedure, because the police are going to withhold information so not to tip off any potential, bad boys who might have more information, if you know what I mean. So they're going to have some things close to the chest, and they're going to make certain things public. So, but they've been concentrating all their efforts on the river, and they say their main hypothesis is that she has just fallen into the river, and that's where she is. But Nikki Bulley's family have sort of maintained, well, that's just one hypothesis, that's one theory, and there's no evidence to support that at all, which there actually isn't, that we've been told. So they're clinging to the belief that she's not in the river, she's somewhere else. Now, during that interview with Peter Faulding, which I saw a few days before, the interviewer said, well, okay, so the police, you haven't asked you, but what if the family asked you? Faulding said, and quite rightly as well, he said, well, they can approach us, yeah, but we're not just going to go up there. We would have to get permission from the police as well. He said, I work with the police daily. There's certain etiquette you've got to do. And I kind of get that. The family could obviously employ whoever they want to do, conduct searches, but you've got to work within the cahoots with the police who are conducting the proper official investigation. I get that, I understand that. So he said, well, during the interview, well, they can get in touch and, but we'll have to get permission off the police as well. We wouldn't just go up there and trample over all their operation. There may be things they're doing that we don't know about. Fair dues, I get that. So anyway, yesterday, Faulding says, families approached us and we're going up there. We're going to assist the Lancashire police in their operation on the river. Funnily enough, a different spokesman for Lancashire police, I heard on BBC Radio Merseyside this morning. When I woke up, I heard this. And so it wasn't Detective Superintendent Sally Riley, who I've mentioned a few times now, from Lancashire police. It was a bloke, and he said, yes, SGI have approached us, and we've said, yes, please, come and join. I'm paraphrasing, but basically he said they approached him, Lancashire police, and they've said, yes, come and help us. Neglecting to mention that they'd refused them, for an entire week beforehand. But be that as it may, Faulding and his team of, I think it's 25 men he mentioned, a 25-man team, with all their specialist sonar equipment and specialist divers as well. And even Faulding himself is a massive expert in diving and close quarter sort of search and rescue. He's done it for decades now. And they're up there. They are there right now because I've seen another interview with the sister of Nikki Bulley, the poor sister of Nikki Bulley, actually standing on the banks of the River Wyre being interviewed. And she said, well, we saw that interview. We saw the interview with that guy, Peter Faulding, and we thought, we need him. So she said the family instigated getting them up there. So they've obviously approached Peter Faulding, said, we want you. And then they've had to go through the police channels. Well, we're going to bring these guys in. Is that okay? So, and it's all been agreed. So they're up there, all legit. And she said, this guy's in the village right now. He's in St. Michael's right now. That was this morning. I presume now they're actually on the river doing what they do best, using their state-of-the-art equipment, which obviously the police don't have. These are highly trained experts and professionals in their field, and they have all the absolute up-to-date latest gadgets, and all the tech needed. So what this will do, as Peter Faulding has said, what this will do, and even though he said we can cover that river in a day, he said in that previous interview, we can cover that river in a day. As I say, 28 miles, 45 kilometres in a day. Well, I don't know. Maybe you can, but I would have thought it would take a bit longer than that to be thorough. But I don't know. He now says, "Oh, we're going to work for a week, so till the end of the week." So I mean, is that Friday? Is that Saturday? Is it Sunday? So another few days they're going to work that. Fine. I would err on that being the better procedure than just one day. But his point remains the same. We will categorically determine whether Nikki Bulley is in that river or not. And although everyone is now going, oh, great, it's like the US cavalry have arrived. And in a way they have, because you will get closure on one element of this, but it won't be the result you want. If she's there, she's dead. If she's in the water, she is dead. So, and he basically said this, he said, we don't want to find her. We want to rule out the river as being, where she is. So once that's categorically ruled out, then the investigation and operation can switch to elsewhere, when it's a chance she could still be alive and we can still find her and bring her back home safely. Which I think is, he can't word it any other way. They go in and their job is to find people in the water, primarily. If you haven't been in the water for any length of time, you're not going to be alive. And I don't want to be saying this, but that is the sad reality of it. And the majority of people that they're going to find have drowned, be it by fair means or foul accidents or third party involvement, whatever. They're going to find that body and then job done. Then the criminal investigation goes in and takes place. But they go in and find whoever's gone missing. And as he says, we don't want to find her, because if we find her, that's the end. But it would at least be closure to this mystery. So you're hoping that you want closure, but you want a happy ending to this. And there's still, that could still be the case. Of course it could. We don't know. No, absolutely nobody knows. Apart from the dog, Willow. Only the dog knows what's happened. But let's hope that they don't find her in the water. But they can literally say, right, the river is not in the inquiry anymore. Please don't look there. Concentrate your efforts elsewhere. Follow up other leads. Do whatever, But the river is not a suspect in this case any longer. But if they do find her, then the case is over, and at least everyone's got closure on this. But that's not the result that you want, is it? It isn't. So at least they're there, and that's wonderful. I saw that interview with that guy, and I thought, my God, this is the very person you need. If every other police constabulary in the UK uses this guy and his team, why aren't you? He's the person with all the means and facilities and the time and the manpower and the resources and the tech that you don't have. Bring him in. Why would you not do it? May have been reasons. I don't know. But clearly, there has been reported today, a supposed breakdown in the liaison between the family and the police. Again, this is not my conjecture. This is what I heard just before, and this comes about with the police and everybody in officialdom saying to armchair detectives, backseat Agatha Christie's, sort of boozy Sherlock Holmesian wannabes, keep out. Stop making speculation. Stop coming up with your ideas and putting it on social media, because it's distressing the family. Now, what they're really alluding to is the fact that there's been a big vile backlash towards the family in certain ways, and that's not on, folks. That's genuinely not on. You haven't got a clue. You really don't have a clue. So don't make accusations like that. Sadly, in today's world, it's human nature, with social media being what it is. So people will just throw crap around like chimps in the zoo. They'll just hell crap around and hope some of it sticks. And then, I said that, didn't I? Please, don't do that. I'm reporting on what's going on, and I'm definitely guilty of having my own opinions, but I have restrained from saying a lot of stuff which I've been approached with. People are asking me all the time, what do you think of this? Would you believe that? And well, I'm not going to say that on any video at all, and nor should anybody else for that matter. This is primarily, I'm reporting on this because I find it fascinating highly emotional as well. Because I think I said in the last video, I'm feeling actually involved in this in some emotional capacity, because I've been following it slavishly and hoping and praying for a good result. There's 2 little girls there who want their mum back. Her partner wants her back. The family wants her back. The village wants her back. That couldn't be more apparent. The influx of people that have gone into St. Michael's is in a way heartwarming, but also because again it comes down to the police saying, please back off. You're traipsing all over potential scenes of evidence, although you should have removed that bench, or at least closed off that area where the bench is, because if you still believe that's a focal point, which it certainly appears to be, it should have been closed off, because it's just common sense. Don't have people walking all over it. It just also feels slightly ghoulish as well at the same time, so wouldn't want people hanging about there, sitting on the bench and taking selfies, which I know has happened. So certain things haven't been done the way you'd think they'd be done. And again, it's not just me saying that, it's people who in the know have said, well, that's not how you conduct an operation like this. It doesn't seem right. Time will tell how all this transpires. But again, I think I was about to say, in the village, you've now got psychics and spiritualists and all sorts who are saying, I'm in contact with some, oh God. Well, these people come out the woodwork, and they do. This is now, it's all over the news. It's hugely dominant. It's the headline story. When I first reported on this, it was just a little breaking news thing, and it was only mentioned in literally about 10-15 second slot on radio news broadcasts and on TV, if even got it on TV. And then it began to gain some sort of momentum, which in a case like this is absolutely necessary. You need to keep her name, her face in the public eye. You need to keep it in people's minds. But the inevitable knock-on of that is that people are going to get involved and force themselves upon this situation, and definitely make things difficult for the actual investigation itself. So again, I would urge people to try and think before you speak, and certainly before you try and write something down, and then send it off on Twitter and whatever. I don't use Twitter. I don't use Instagram. I'm on Facebook, but I don't even like that, to be honest. I like this because it's me. This is me just talking to you guys. And it can go off and meander into all sorts of different tributaries and detours, but that's the nature of the beast. That's what my channel has always been about, always. But as I said before, I do feel something here, and I want to report to you. I want to say, oh, they found her, and she's alive, she's well, and then we get the story, if need be, But you want a happy conclusion, because as I said before, it's 2 little girls and a family that have lost their mother. And there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just, this is what hurts people when people go missing. It's the not knowing. And there's people that go missing and they're never found, ever. Now you imagine living your life with that kind of, that knot of uncertainty and dread inside you. You may have inwardly resigned yourself to the fact that you're never going to see them again, but you can't logically make that connection because there's no proof either way. So that's why you need to have a resolution and a finale to things like this. I think you will get it. I think with the arrival now of Peter Faulding and his team, I think you're going to get something, certainly. Whether it's, well, we found it, and it's the worst, but at least now we know it's over. That, in a way, well, that's closure, and there might be some final sort of sense of comfort with that, with the knowledge. But if they don't find it there in the river, Well, that broadens everything all over again, and the mystery will only deepen even more. But let's just see what they come up with. They're there right now. They could find her. It could be imminent. It could be, you know. But let's pray that they don't, because if they don't find her, then there's still hope. Might sound slightly weird, because well, then if she's not in the river, then something even worse has happened. But until you find her, alive or dead, there's no finale. Right, folks, that's all I know for the time being. Excuse me. But I'm sure I'll be back with more on this, because it's ongoing, and it is, without a doubt. Every person who speaks about this on TV, interviewers, people who are being interviewed, experts in the field, everybody says this is a mystery, and it's totally perplexing, it's bewildering, and they're all just completely, what happened? Doesn't make any sense. So let's hope some final sense does come of this, and I think it will. I think the next few days will yield an answer of some sort. Anyway, folks, please, in the meantime, in this ever, I don't know, precarious world we live in between time, please keep it Celtic, and I am going to see you all later. And if you're ever in a position where the best professionals in the field can help you, and they're going to do it free of charge, you take them straight away. Don't think about it. Don't procrastinate. Don't refuse. Don't and ah. Take them. Time is crucial in situations like this. Time is absolutely essential. They could have been there last week. This all could have been over way by now.